Built between 2584 BCE and 2561 BCE, the Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu or Pyramid of Cheops, is the oldest and last remaining of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. We take a brief look at the history of this intriguing structure that sits within the bounds of modern-day Cairo. According to Egyptologists, the pyramid was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, the second king of the 4th dynasty who ruled for approximately 20 years. For almost 4,000 years, the pyramid was considered the tallest man-made structure in the world. It is the largest and the oldest of the 3 pyramids on the complex at Giza, an embodiment of the grandeur of ancient Egypt. The pyramid's construction remains largely a mystery and built from more than 2 meters stone blocks and measuring 146 meters, 481 feet, high when it was first constructed. The pyramid is now 138 meters, 455 feet, tall after erosion removed the top portion. As for the base, each side is about 230 meters, 756 feet, long, and the total area covered is around 5 hectares, 13 acres. The pyramid was considered a tomb and a place of regeneration for the deceased king. It has 3 known burial chambers inside and a sloping passageway named the Grand Gallery. One chamber is underground and carved into the bedrock, and the other 2, one named the Queen's Chamber and the other the King's Chamber, are higher up within the pyramid. Later, those casing stones were removed by Arabs to build mosques, and according to calculations, the mirror-like original structure could be seen from the moon. The pyramids in Egypt are at the top of many people's ultimate travel bucket list. The stone structures still stand proud, having outlasted the other wonders of the ancient world. Here's a guide on what to expect when entering the deserts of Giza, Egypt's 3rd largest city, to see the greatest pyramid of them all. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the largest and oldest of 3 structures in the city of Giza, on the outskirts of Cairo. Also known as Pyramid of Khufu or the Pyramid of Cheops, the Great Pyramid has been documented as a landmark to visit since it was first put on the list of wonders of the ancient world. The list in its final form wasn't fully realized until the Renaissance, but even as far back as the 1st century BCE, ancient Greek travelers spoke of the pyramid. The pyramid is believed to encase the tomb and final resting place of Pharaoh Khufu, and was completed in 2560 BCE. It stood at a height of 146.5 meters, 481 feet, and was the tallest built structure on Earth for close to 3,800 years before being topped by Lincoln Cathedral in 1311. The pyramid remains largely intact, although the same cannot be said of the cathedral, which lost its central spire in 1548. The other structures in the Giza necropolis complex are the Pyramid of Khafra and the Pyramid of Menkaure. There are also smaller associated buildings, as well as the Great Sphinx of Giza. Many theories have been proposed since the rediscovery of the tombs within the pyramids, but there isn't one that experts can agree on. The Great Pyramid casing is made from an estimated 2.3 meters blocks of limestone. For the interior chambers, larger granite stones were used. These were transported from Aswan, which is 800 kilometers, 500 miles, away. The Giza complex lies west of the Nile River in a portion of the Sahara known as the Western Desert. Some of the outer stones were loosened by an earthquake in 1356 and were used to build mosques in Cairo. The Greeks believed that slaves were used to build the pyramids, but more recent discoveries of workers' camps have led to theories that skilled workers were in fact enlisted for construction. There is evidence to suggest that the huge stones were rolled into place, but other experts think that raw materials were either dragged or even lifted into the structure. If you fancy yourself as a budding Indiana Jones, the good news is that you can buy a ticket to enter any or all of the pyramids in Giza. There is a general admission fee to enter the grounds around the pyramids, and then subsequent entrance fees for each of the pyramids themselves. It's worth booking in advance if possible, as tickets on the day can be limited depending on restoration work that may be taking place in the complex. The best tip is to go for one of the organized tours that can take care of the booking side of things and leave you free to explore at your own leisure. Egyptians had copper tools such as chisels, drills, and saws that may have been used to cut the relatively soft stone. The hard granite, used for burial chamber walls and some of the exterior casing, would have posed a more difficult problem. Workmen may have used an abrasive powder, such as sand, with the drills and saws. A tomb painting of a colossal statue being moved shows how huge stone blocks were moved on sledges over ground first made slippery by liquid. The blocks were then brought up ramps to their positions in the pyramid. Finally, the outer layer of casing stones was finished from the top down and the ramps dismantled as the work was completed. Pyramid building was at its height from the 4th through the 6th dynasties. Smaller pyramids continued to be built for more than 1,000 years. Scores of them have been discovered, but the remains of others are probably still buried under the sand. As it became clear that the pyramids did not provide protection for the mummified bodies of the kings but were obvious targets for grave robbers, later kings were buried in hidden tombs cut into rock cliffs. Although the magnificent pyramids did not protect the bodies of the Egyptian kings who built them, the pyramids have served to keep the names and stories of those kings alive to this day. Tomb robbers and other vandals in both ancient and modern times removed most of the bodies and funeral goods from Egypt's pyramids and plundered their exteriors as well. Stripped of most of their smooth white limestone coverings, the Great Pyramids no longer reach their original heights. Khufu's, for example, measures only 451 feet high. Nonetheless, millions of people continue to visit the pyramids each year, drawn by their towering grandeur and the enduring allure of Egypt's rich and glorious past. Pyramids did not stand alone but were part of a group of buildings which included temples, chapels, other tombs, and massive walls. Remnants of funerary boats have also been excavated. The best preserved is at Giza. On the walls of 5th and 6th dynasty pyramids are inscriptions known as the pyramid texts, an important source of information about Egyptian religion. The scarcity of ancient records, however, makes it difficult to be sure of the uses of all the buildings in the pyramid complex or the exact burial procedures. It is thought that the king's body was brought by boat up the Nile to the pyramid site and probably mummified in the Valley Temple before being placed in the pyramid for burial.